comic books, movies, TV, and more. Nerds are everywhere. It's time to assemble! It's Nerds United.
Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Nerds United, a Jittery Monkey podcast, and available to you on YouTube. For those of you with the benefit of YouTube, I don't know. That failed. I'm your host. My name is Greg Mahachko. This dashing and debonair gentleman over here, rocking the winter beard, is the co-host of the year, Mike Luther. Hello, Mike.
Hey, I'm doing good. My beard's doing greater.
And I'll tell you what, we had a lot of positive feedback from our episode last week.
Yes.
Apparently, your family members loved the fact that your nephew was on the show.
I think we would get more listeners and viewers if every week we just took one of my nieces and nephews or random family members and put them on. So that's about the only time everybody will listen.
You know what? I gave my wife crap today because she was watching a TikToker live. And it's, something of interest to her is crochet stuff, which is fine. But they had a little Secret Santa thing from like the dozen or so people that watch these live things. It's all crochet material, and her Secret Santa gift arrived today. And I told him, like, honey, what do I need to give you for you to listen to my podcasts? I was like, what do I need to incentivize? Do I need to entice you with some type of giveaway of some?
Did she go, wait, you have a podcast?
No, she's, I think, painfully aware that I have multiple shows. And it got brought up in a joking manner. We were in one of her craft stores today, and I made the comment about the amount of yarn that is there. And she made the comment about, she said, there's a lot of something I'd like to see out of the house. I was like, are you talking about me? And she said, no, but I know what she was talking about. So she's like, hey, if you're going to fire live rounds, I'm going to fire live rounds. So,
I mean, that's fair. Yeah.
That's fair.
So,
how was your Christmas?
I was just going to ask you that. My Christmas was good. I went to my brother's for breakfast / closer to lunch, actually. I told you, I think last week I was talking about how I was going to make monkey bread. Mm-hmm. And I made it. Well, let's put the ingredients together the night before, put it in the fridge, and in the morning, it was supposed to be like 350 degrees for like 35, maybe 40 minutes. It took so much longer than that. So much longer. To where the point where, like, I told Nolan, I said, hey, take the presents to, because I had them in bags, so like, hey, take them over to Tony's. And so he did that, and he got there maybe like a little after 10. I was closer to 11. But I think it went well. Nobody was really eating when I got there. I think they maybe had already eaten, or maybe everybody was just snacking. But so for Brayden's present, the way I wrapped it was I used an entire roll of duct tape. And it was just money, but like I put the money like a little. I got this little like cardboard container from Dollar Tree. Like I think you're supposed to put like jewelry or something in it. Mm-hmm. I don't know. But I used, like I said, put the money in there, and then I wrapped it up with duct tape. And then for Allie's, I put it in a Ziploc bag. Put the money in a Ziploc bag, and then I put it in like an ice where you would normally put ice cubes.
No.
And I filled it all the way up with water. So it's a frozen solid block of ice, which I wasn't sure how she'd react to that. I didn't know if she could, because I came in, that was the only present I brought in because I didn't want Nolan to bring it in. And so I walked in with this thing. I walked with the monkey bread and that one underneath. Right. And then I put the monkey bread down and I said, Allie, come here. And she came over and I was like, here you go. And I handed her the ice. I was like, your present's in there. And I thought she was just going to be like, no, I'm good. Just like walk away.
She like ran outside and dropped it on the sidewalk.
Yeah. Well, and she started laughing, and so it was a huge hit until she realized that it took a while to melt the ice. And people were giving her ideas. She did put it in the bathtub with warm water, so it didn't take too long. But she got slightly frustrated after a little bit. But I didn't see Brayden with his duct tape wrapping, but I heard it went well. I heard everybody was laughing at it, so that part was good. So now, if I remember every year, I'm gonna have to try to do something.
One up.
One up, yeah. I don't know if I'll be able to one up every time, but I'll do something.
So we went Saturday. It was my oldest birthday, so we went over to my mom and dad's, did his birthday and Christmas both. And my niece likes to, like, I guess, punk my dad.
Okay.
And she at one point she gave him a present, to Grandpa from Bryn, and it was her used volleyball sneakers.
Okay.
And she, but it's in a box, and my dad's just unwrapping it, and it's like, shoes. He's like, oh, he's joking. They weren't like vigorously used; they were gently used, because I guess she outgrew very quickly.
Okay.
But he's like, I don't think these will fit. And she's cracking up. She said, let me get you your real present. And so, she takes him another box, and it's like a Russian nesting doll type, this bigger box.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And then you unwrap that one, you take all the stuff out. This is a smaller box. And inside that was a picture framed of my dad in like a crazy Snapchat filter or something like that, like my niece was screwing around. So that got a big reaction. But I found, after the fact, of course, like parents' revenge, or grandparent, I guess, in this case. And feel free to, use this idea next year. Hopefully you're not listening too much. But you take the present and you put it between two, I don't know, like pieces of wood, be it, I don't know, just like a 1-inch piece of, stained or whatever, but it's drilled on both sides, and you put, I don't know, probably 18-inch long like screws in them, and it's like washer nut on each side. So and there's probably 300 of these combinations that they have to undo all the. I'm gonna tell my dad about that. I'm like, if you want to get Bryn back,
that's pretty good. That is good for sure.
That'll take up her entire time. And I said, you can always reuse the hardware.
Exactly.
So and then so that was Saturday. Sunday we didn't really do much of anything, and then Monday, Christmas Day, we did our Christmas stuff here in the morning, like as soon as all the kids were up, which was about 8:00, which I'll get into that in a minute. And then we went out to my in-laws Monday afternoon, had a real nice visit over there, and I brought home for me from them, it's like some spices and some rubs and some barbecue stuff, and a big old, like, I don't know, 30-piece hot cocoa thing.
Ooh, okay.
With like the hot cocoa bombs and the hot cocoa stirs. So I had some of that, and Garrett's has some of that. I think after we record tonight, I might have some more.
Okay, nice. We went over to my mom's house later in the day, and I ended up falling. I pulled the Greg. I ended up falling asleep on a couch recliner type of thing. But my mom and Nolan had Mexican hot chocolate. It was something my sister had sent down from El Paso. Apparently, it has like a little bit of a spice to like a chili powder or something. I don't know what it is, but they said it was the best hot cocoa they've had. Interesting. It was really, really good. Yeah. So,
so I mentioned 8:00 start time for most of this week. When we hit the weekend, like daycare, we knew daycare was open Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. The only days that anybody got up early enough to get the twins to daycare was Thursday and Friday. Now that's partially on me, because I did set my alarm every day, but I also hit snooze every day. And couldn't do that yesterday or today. But like the twin, I just know that tomorrow, which is Saturday, which is the day they could sleep in, be like 5:45, bum, 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 on the door.
Oh yeah.
So brace myself for that. Last night, after I recorded my Husker show, I was sitting in my recliner and just kicking back, relaxing, watching The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug. Yep. And then I woke up and it was like 4:00. And based on previous conversations with my wife, who's been like killing it on laundry these last few days, like just knocking it all out. Usually I'm the laundry person, but she's been much more diligent than I am. And we had, maybe you saw the picture, it was the unmatched socks.
Oh, yes.
For the kids, and they were all on our bed, which is primarily my bed, but that's a different story. And so I just, and she said, I'm not going to match all those tonight. So you might have to move them when you go to bed. I said, okay. So I wake up before whatever in the morning. I'm like, I took the dog out and I said, I don't really want to dick around with a bunch of unmatched socks. So I just grabbed a blanket, went back to my chair, went back to sleep. And then I woke up a couple hours later so I could go upstairs, shower, start my day. And all the socks have been cleared off. I'm like, son of a bitch. So, cheers to my wife.
Yes. And what are you drinking, by the way? I know, but the people don't know.
I am drinking Great Lakes Brewing Company's Christmas Ale. It is an ale with spices and honey. Great Lakes Brewing. I was trying to find out where it is. Cleveland, Ohio. So like the only thing good to come out of Cleveland. This Christmas ale is 7.5% alcohol by volume and 30 IBUs, which I'll tell you what, it's not, you would think that with IBU metric that high that it would be, you'd be seeing me going, but it's very well balanced. I don't really consider it. If it didn't say on the can 30 IBUs, I would never classify this as an IPA or anything like that. It's just, it's a very smooth, almost refreshing beverage for the fact that it's a winter ale.
Nice. By the way, like Drew Carey once said, Cleveland rocks. Cleveland rocks.
Cleveland can S a D, if you know what I mean.
And if Drew Carey says it, it's true.
No. Cleveland can S a D, if you know what I mean.
Can start a duck.
That's right. Well, Mike, we are through one of the holidays now, the more expensive holiday, realistically.
Yes.
In the past few days, did you make it to a comic book shop?
I did not. I'm still recovering from said holidays.
Did you get anything?
I started reading. I finished. I have right here, volume 3 of Once and Future. So I'm going to take a little break from that. I think I have 4 or 5 or 6 total. I forget how many you let me borrow.
I think 4,
maybe 4. I don't remember. But anyway, I took a little slight break on that, and then it's over there, so I can't grab it. But at your request, I started reading Dark Knights of Steel, volume 1, and that's an excellent one. And I honestly didn't think I would like it as much as I do. I don't know.
It's the Elseworlds type of feel to it,
It is. It's absolutely Elseworlds. I think I'm sure you explained it in a prior one. I'll very briefly explain it I'm trying not to spoil much of anything for it. But it starts off the typical hurricane is exploding, and then there's a ship coming down. The ship comes down in medieval England, I guess, or medieval somewhere. And it's not just Kal-El on there, but it's Jor-El and Mom-El. Laura, that's it. I think I like Mom-El better. And then you get to meet other people from DC and stuff like that in there. And I'll try to do this without spoiling it, but there was definitely a moment in there where you learn some secrets about who belongs to who, if that makes sense. Somebody needs to go on Maury, and
oh yeah, okay, I know what you're saying.
And then you turn the page, and then there's another big shock, and so it's like, wow, it's really but so it's definitely a page turner. Like I was telling you, I think off air, there's 6 issues total in this volume, and I'm on issue 5. So by the time, unless something crazy happens, by the time we record next week, I'll for sure have it done.
Well, the good news, sir, is that I'm going to be in your community next week, and I can bring you volume 2.
Excellent. What I like to hear.
And that is, yep, it is issues 7 through 12. So the back end of the story, which I completed reading, and for the benefit of our viewers on YouTube, they can see this is the hardcover. The paperback doesn't come out. I think Tim at Twilight Comics, Swansea, Illinois, said May or something like.
Wow.
No, I said let's not. I'll take this.
Yeah.
In fact, I even asked. I said, could I pay for this one? And then when the trade paperback comes in, just trade this one in for the other one, like keeping admittedly the higher price. And they're like, no. I said, okay. All right. So, but yeah, so there are, as I was telling you before we started rolling sound, there are some moments in this that I started reading it, read probably the first 2 issues, and then I put it down. When I picked it up a few days later, I'd forgotten, I didn't have a bookmark or anything like that. So I ended up rereading part that I'd already read, and I was still shocked. Second time through, I was like, oh, what? But I just, it's very creative how they're doing the very best they can to, work in as many like DC characters, DC favorites, as possible into the story. I won't get into any spoilers. It's one of those like, yeah, I think about 12 issues is probably pretty good for it. They wrapped up everything.
Okay, good,
here.
Good. Yeah,
so in the second volume. So
yeah, they like you said, they do a good job of putting everybody in it. And where they're at, it makes sense too. Mm-hmm. It's nothing's wow. You're like, oh, well, Joker. Let's just give an example. Oh, he wouldn't do that or something.
Right. Yeah, there's nothing that's really out of character. I think if this is very trivial, very minor of a complaint, but so much of the dialogue still seems very contemporary. And I don't need a lot of doths and thous and things like that. But just there are moments where I was like, I can understand. Alfred calling Master Bruce. That still seems to hold up timelessly based on their relationship. But other elements, I was like,
to be honest with you, I'm I respect that you want that, but also like I'm glad they didn't, because I don't. I think it would be too much of like a Shakespearean play if they did that. Just for me.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah,
that's fine. There's something else I was gonna say. I don't remember if it was about that, so we can move on.
Okay.
I did make it to Twilight Comics today.
Oh, what'd you get?
I only got one. I got one book for my pull list and one freebie. The freebie first is a Marvel 2024 calendar.
Oh,
and it is, I believe, from the, and I don't say I believe, I'm going by what it says here, the Blood Hunt arc or story that's coming out, which appears very vampiric in nature. I see Blade, I see Morbius. It is Morbin time, so
it's always Morbin time,
It is, but the calendar itself is not, so it's not all like elements of the story. For example, January is Scarlet Witch. I'm looking at this for the first time and pulling up random pages, so I have no idea what I'm going to be. All right, so there you have. May is Spider-Man and Secret Wars.
Nice.
Some things to look forward to. So that was a freebie, and I put money on the counter for Superman's Dawn of DC number 9. And I'll tell you what, I am enjoying this run here. So I'll keep doing that for a little while. Oddly enough, that's the only DC title on my pull list, and I've never been a big like Superman comic guy, but and then the other thing that I've been reading, and I remember what it was that I'll come back to that. I found this in that stack of comics for Mike that had been sitting over there for probably well over a year. And so I took it out and started reading The Sixth Gun.
I've not heard of that, but it looks interesting.
Okay, so I might have to alter my story. Maybe it didn't come from the pile of comics from you. So I have several of the Six Gun. This is volume 1, and it's written by Colin Bunn, who's kind of made a name for himself in like the horror comic area, and I believe he's also from St. Louis area originally. I met him years ago down at Cape Comic Con. He actually autographed a Sixth Gun comic for me. It's not this one, which means that I have probably 2 volume 1s out there. But the Sixth Gun is, as you can kind of tell, it's a little bit Western. It's a little bit supernatural. There are 6 guns, as you can probably tell, and each are imbued with some type of supernatural, aka kind of demonic power. And they're on a quest to keep the hands or the guns out of the hand of this bad guy right here, and his who died and came back to life, and then his kind of creepy wife. So,
sounds interesting.
Yeah, so I'm enjoying that. And like I said, somewhere upstairs, probably in the twins' closet, I have the other volumes. So we'll put that together. But one of the things I was going to tell you. I didn't have much on my Christmas list because I'm 41 years old, and as validated or confirmed or verified or whatever by TikTok, like there's only one thing that a guy my age in my situation wants for Christmas. I didn't get it, but I got a wallet. I got a new like phone charging stand for my office because I don't have a way to charge my phone at the office on certain days there. And one thing that I asked for, probably my only like high price item, was some AirPods.
Okay.
And my wife went above and beyond. She said, I did a lot of research. She said, I didn't get you the newest ones, but I got you like the Gen 2 that has like active noise cancellation. I said, oh, and I just put them in just for kicks and grins. And I'm like, it's so quiet. And that was on Monday. And then Monday afternoon is when we went out to her folks, and her dad has this habit or tradition, whatever you want to call it. Like he'll go Walmart or wherever, and he'll get like the little animated, you push a button on the Christmas thing and it dances and sings and whatnot. And he gets 1 or 2 of those a year. So now he's got like 10 or 12 of them, right? And we were the first ones there. So my twins found all these and just started pushing buttons. So at any given time, there's 5 or 6 going. And I said to Ashley, I was like, now would be a great time for those noise canceling AirPods. So, but got a book, got her a couple of books and a few things off of her list. Made one critical error on something that I thought, oh, these will be great. She'll love these for work. It was medical like shoe that built for people who are on their feet all the time. And she's like, oh, but these are great. She's like, I can't use them, but they're great. I was like, why not? She said, they have holes in them and we have to have like complete shoes. I said, so trying to get back in touch or waiting to hear back from the company so I can initiate a return on those. So
yeah, that sounds good.
So Mike, we were talking a little bit earlier tonight in our show prep meeting, which is a handful of messages back and forth. And we're like, about this time last year, we had, kind of ranked everything that we knew to be coming out in 2023. And, like which one are we most excited for, which one we're least excited for, et cetera, et cetera. And I was looking for that list and I couldn't find that list. And you said that's okay because we didn't see everything that came out anyway.
Yeah, I think last year I listened to the 2022 one as well. And I was like, well, because when you said you looked back, I was like, wait, did he actually listen to an episode? Like, no. Just look for a list. But yeah, if things would have been different, we probably now would have been seeing what we were anticipating in 2024 and then ranking how we felt about movies in 2023. Like we said in the prep, neither one of us have seen all of the movies of 2023 that came out.
You've seen Blue Beetle, right?
I've seen Blue Beetle, yes.
Okay. I haven't seen the Marvels.
Right.
Neither one of us has seen Aquaman.
Nope.
Although I was this close. I basically told Ashley today, like she's been off because Garrett's been out of school, And so she's been off. She didn't go back to work until next Friday. And I said, I want to go to a movie today. And what I really want to do is take the two of them to see Wonka because, you know, that's fine, you know. And she's like, I don't think he's going to want to watch that. I said, all right. I said, well, he's like, I don't know if I want to go out, Dad. I said, well, all right, well, I'm going to a movie. Like, I was just thinking at this point, like, I'll just go see Aquaman by myself. It wouldn't be the first time I did that. And he's like, is there anything else playing? So I'm looking through Fandango, and I know what's playing. And he's sitting over my shoulder. He's like, oh, what's that? I said, apparently, I said, before I even told him what it was, I said, I have a feeling that's what we're going to go see this afternoon. So we went and saw Migration.
Okay.
Which is from the same production company that gives us the Minions and Despicable Me and things like that. So, and it was fun. I mean, it was fine. It was not the best animated feature I've ever seen.
Considering I've never even seen a trailer for it. Yeah, understandable. But hey, I'm glad. Did he like it?
Yeah.
Okay, good. There you go. That's perfect then.
And I got popcorn.
Yeah, there you go. See, perfect.
It all worked out.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff in 2023 we didn't see, but we were putting a little list together of stuff for 2024. And what we're going to do now is go over that list and kind of just have a little discussion about what we're excited for, what we're, that one can be on the pass list, or at least, you know, wait till it comes out on a streaming list. So do you want to start with shows? I mean, I know that's kind of crazy because they are all on streaming to begin with, and then work our way up to movies, or start with movies since there are fewer movies to discuss.
I'll start with movies.
Okay, let's do it. To the best of our knowledge, or at least the best of our research, because a lot of this has to do with the SAG and the writers' strike earlier this year. Everything, so much has been pushed back. So what we were able to find, Mike, correct me if I'm wrong, is there's only 5 comic book movies coming out next year.
Sounds about right. I wish I could say 5 more great, but
and we have 3 from the Sony Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
We have 1 that's MCU, and 1 that is DC, but not the James Gunn DCU. So
yeah. And I don't know much about the DC one.
Have you seen well, we'll talk about it here. In fact, let's go ahead and start with that. It's not due out until much later in the year, I think November. But Joker, the sequel, with Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga. Did you ever watch the first Joker?
Never watched the first Joker.
Okay.
Don't really care about the second Joker either, considering from what I've heard, it is a musical.
Yes.
So that's about as far down the bottom of my list as you can make it.
I'll say this, about the Joker sequel, and look, I know it has a name. It's like something French. That's all I was going to say.
Folie à Deux.
Folie à Deux?
Yeah.
Nice. Is that how you pronounce it?
I think so.
Nice. Well done. If I could return the digital version that I bought of Joker a few years ago and get my money back, I would. I'm sorry. I understand that it didn't cost a whole lot to make, and it made a buttload of money, and so a sequel was greenlit almost from the beginning. But we talked about this when it came out, years ago. That's right. It's been years since Joker came out. It just, you can't. I struggle in a world where you have Joker, but you don't have Batman. Because without a great hero, I mean, they often say without a great villain, you can't have a great hero. And I understand what they're trying to do in this case with Joker in the original movie is, trying to make him a sympathetic figure. But as I stressed at that time, my fear was it was going to take this mental health condition that this individual had and use it as an excuse to do a lot of violent things, do a lot of damage, and hurt a lot of people, and that's exactly what happened. Now, whether or not that gets interpreted or picked up by, the wider, general populace, I don't know. Again, I paid for it because I wanted to watch it. With the benefit of hindsight, I'd do the rent option instead of the buy option, and clear it off my Amazon Prime list. But that was coming out in the fall of 2024, unless there's another pushback or schedule adjustment. Again, this is going by what we know here, the last days of 2023. So, oddly enough, as much as I don't want to see that, that's still probably like mid-ground of movies that are coming out in 2023 that are comic book related. So another one that's, I think the first one that's coming out for 2023 is Madam Web from the Sony Spider-Verse.
Which I know a little bit about Madam Web, and what I knew about her didn't make sense in the trailer, but this made us obviously an origin story for her. And they are really pushing for the, like, hey, we have spider people too, right? Come on. We're almost the same. Like this is like if your grandma knows you like Spider-Man and she's gonna see like this trailer, or she's gonna see a poster, because I guarantee the poster has tons of Spider-Man symbols on it, and she's gonna be like, I'm gonna take little Johnny to this because he's gonna like it. He likes that Spider-Man.
There's the I guess the official poster that has just, it says Dakota Johnson, Madam Web, and it's just a lot of spider web, And so I could, again, someone who is underinformed, I suppose, might see that and be like, oh, that's going to be it. That's going to be the new thing. But it's just not.
Yeah, that one's going to go right above Joker 2.
I was going to say, for me, that might be right below Joker 2.
That's fair. That's fair.
February 14th. So go be disappointed on Valentine's Day.
Greg, I know where you can bring your wife on Valentine's Day.
Oh, where?
Probably just stay at home.
Yeah.
You guys have had enough Valentine's Days, haven't you? You've done that before.
Look, we're all leading up to the one that we're most excited about, so we'll skip that for now. But at the end of August 30th, is when we get Kraven the Hunter, which is the ATJ, Aaron Taylor Johnson or Aaron Johnson. Which one is it?
ATJ, Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Okay, cool. Thank you. As again, it's Spider-Man adjacent, but in a world where you don't have Spider-Man, what good is Kraven?
Yeah, this one makes more sense though. You can have a Kraven without Spider-Man. Do you want it? No, but you can have it. Now the trailer for it was fine, good, I would say. But the problem was the interview before, several interviews before, where he talked about, I think it was him that talked about that Kraven is an animal lover.
Oh yeah.
So now this one I'm gonna put above Madam Web. Am I gonna go out and rush out and see it? I don't. It depends on my bank account's looking that day.
It's Labor Day weekend, buddy.
Yeah, that doesn't mean much, but
it means you have a whole other day to go see it in the theater.
That's true. Okay, that's true. I still can't say for sure. Like, yes, I'm going out and see this one.
All right. So after Kraven the Hunter, then we have Venom 3, which apparently I missed the memo. I didn't realize Venom 3 was on the way. Did we talk about a Venom 3?
I didn't even know there's a trailer for Venom 3.
I don't think there is. It's untitled. According to Google, like you type in Venom 3, and it's untitled Venom Let There Be Carnage sequel. And it's...
I wish that.
Its release day is scheduled for November 8th of 2024.
I haven't heard one thing about this.
No.
Like, a lot of times you hear like, okay, there's a rumor of it's going to be whatever, Bebop and Rocksteady in it, But I haven't heard. Let's see, who is the villain in Venom 3? According to Rickman, I'm going to pronounce his name right. Somebody is playing Orwell Taylor. Ah, of course, yes. the leader of the group known as the Jury. Oh man, that sounds exciting. Like maybe that's exciting if I read a lot of Venom comics. I don't know. I missed out on Venom comics.
Is that the? So I'm pulling up a Variety.com article from a month and a half ago. The third installment of the Venom series, which is untitled at this time, was originally set for July 12th. Kelly Marcel, who wrote and produced the first two Venom movies, directs the upcoming superhero film from a screenplay she wrote. Marcel and Tom Hardy developed a Venom 3 story and produced alongside Avi Arad, Matt Tolmack, Amy Pascal, Hutch Parker. Let's see. Hardy's previous two comic book tentpoles, Venom and Venom Let There Be Carnage, both opened at the start of October. Let There Be Carnage took a drop, earned $500 million in the pandemic. I don't see anything in here about. Let's see. Hardy's Eddie Brock and Venom last appeared in a credit sequence in 2021 Spider-Man No Way Home, but it's unclear which of Sony's universe of Marvel characters, one that includes Morbius, Kraven, and Madam Web, among others, might show up in Venom 3. Nothing in here about a plot. I'm scared for this one, Mike.
I'm going to still put it above Madam Web though, and and between Adam Webb and Kraven.
Okay, that's fair. So last but not least is really the only movie that is consensus we're in for, and that is Deadpool 3.
Yes. And Deadpool 3, I mean, look, I loved the first Deadpool, loved the second Deadpool as well. Not as much, but I did love it. This one, I wish that we could go in there without knowing 75 different spoilers.
Yeah.
But it's always a slow news day, and the Deadpool 3 clickbait works for some people. So it'll constantly be, hey, this X-Men star is rumored to be in Deadpool 3. And then they'll have a picture of whoever it is, I'm curious about, because this is the first introduction of Deadpool and Wolverine into the true MCU.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to see how they do that. I've heard rumors about how they do it and stuff, of course, but I look forward to it. Man, I'm going to the theater for that one. That's number one.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
July 26th, 2024.
Mm-hmm.
So I scrolled down too far, and I had something that I did not previously know become spoiled for me as far as who would be in the movie.
Yeah.
Take this with a grain of salt because it's the internet, so I have no idea how much of this is actually accurate. But did you know, or has it been released or reported that Owen Wilson was going to be in this movie?
I have heard that. I have heard that the TVA was going to be part of it.
Yeah, that's again, he's playing Mobius.
Yes.
So I'll tell you what, the only way that could be any better is if Jared Leto comes in as Morbius.
Or if the credits start and then all of a sudden it just turns into Morbius 2. That's if you want to look, hey, if you want to make $1 billion,
and here's how they announce it. Instead of Morbius being spelled, it's MORE more dash BS.
Yes.
So that'd be the way to do it. It's really, again, if you want to back the money truck up, we need more Morbius in that one.
Yeah, so. Exactly. Yeah.
So again, to the best of our knowledge, I actually did see. I don't know where this ranks on your list of priorities, but The Crow is supposed to be 2024 as well.
I never saw the original.
Really?
Or the 7 sequels that it had.
Yeah, I've never seen those.
Yeah, I have heard rumors of a Crow reboot. I'm not lying. Probably from the early 2000s. Or maybe 2010s. It's one of those that I'm shocked if it actually comes out, because I feel like that there's been at least 10 rumors, attempts, however you want to call it. This actor is supposed to be in it. This actor is supposed to be in it. Oh, there's a new director. There's a new writer.
So they started filming in July of last year. So before the strike,
Okay.
which means it might already be in the can.
Yeah.
It will star Bill Skarsgård,
That's fair.
Danny Houston. I don't know if you remember Danny Houston in some of his. He was in. Don't hold this against him. He's been in a lot of other things, but he was in X-Men Origins Wolverine as Stryker.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about.
And those are like the only two names that I recognize, but I don't know if you are familiar with FKA Twigs.
Yes, I know of her.
Okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, is scheduled for 2024. Lionsgate's going to distribute it. It's got a $50 million budget. I don't think it's going to have any problem making that back and then some. There's a world where like lower budget, great story movies can just rake at the box office. Unfortunately, we just don't see that many of those movies.
I don't know if at the box office is going to do great even at 50 million. And we've talked about this before. 50 million, it has to make at least 100 million to break, or somewhere around there roughly. Now on I was gonna say almost Blu-ray, but like on not streaming, but like Vudu and stuff like that, I think that possibly then it's going to come close to it. But are there huge Crow fans that are going to be coming out in droves to the theaters?
I think there's going to be a strong desire to see this movie by a lot of people. Like the tragedy of the original Crow movie, I think that there's going to be a lot of people who just want to see this one have gotten done, because while the original Crow didn't do gangbusters, it's very much got a cult following.
It's got a cult following, yes, but the people that are watching it, because I'm trying to think of when it came out, like it would almost be like people that are maybe our age or older, and those people aren't going to the movie theaters. I said
1994.
1994. Okay. Yeah.
Realistically, we were old enough to have gone and seen this movie.
At 13, I wasn't interested in The Crow. I'll tell you right now. Yeah, not at all. No, hold on. Does that mean other people our age were listening? Yeah, I know other people our age were, and maybe even younger. I mean, when's the last time you heard somebody talking about The Crow?
We talk about it at least once every other week in the office.
Well, we do, yeah. We call ourselves the Crows, though.
Like there's that thing like how often do you think of the Roman Empire?
Yeah.
like how often do you think of the Crow? It's about every few weeks.
Granted, here's what's going to determine a lot of it is how the marketing does for it. Because obviously we don't have a trailer or anything for it.
Right.
It might get a huge buzz when that trailer comes out, and then they're going to make their money back for sure. I just don't see it. But more power to Billy Skarsgård.
I definitely kind of makes me want to go and watch the original one now.
Yeah, watch it with your family.
I don't know about that.
Saturday family movie night.
I don't know about that. Somebody was getting a little scared watching the giant spiders in The Hobbit.
Well, that's fair. They are scary.
So,
by somebody you mean
Garrett.
You mean yourself, right? And then you're like, let's turn it off. Garrett's also scared. I mean, he's the only one that's scared. I'm definitely not.
No.
Oh, gosh.
Come on, Mike. All right, so not a whole lot to choose from movie-wise in 2024. TV-wise, I mean, there are more options. Some of them are very familiar. Like some of them are not, I would say not new, but like they've had other seasons. So, for example, we're going to get the next season of The Boys in 2024. I know you're excited for that, as am I. Yes. A new season of The Umbrella Academy for Netflix. I don't have a date for either of those. In February, we're going to get the
date for
them.
I can be your date for them.
Ha ha ha.
Umbrella Academy. The Boys, obviously, yes. We both want to see that. Umbrella Academy. I'll check it out on Netflix.
Did you cool down on Umbrella Academy at all?
No, it's just been a while since I've seen them.
So we're getting a season on Max of The Penguin, starring Colin Farrell.
I'll check that out eventually.
Right, it's not going to be too high up there.
No.
We're getting and so I didn't realize this. Google set me straight when I was preparing for this episode tonight. But I thought that the second season of Invincible seemed a little abrupt, and that's because they split it up. They only did half the season. Part 2 is coming in February, so we'll get more Invincible in February. We'll also get part 1 of Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths. That'll be on Max, I believe.
I'm assuming that's the animated, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I think I'll probably check that out.
We're going to get on Disney Plus the rebooted 90s X-Men cartoon called X-Men 97.
Yes. No, that's going to be interesting for sure.
I hope they have the original like music and intro,
I think
maybe updated a little bit.
I think it's a must to have that.
They almost have to because it sets the tone, right?
Yeah. I
I
don't care about really anything else about it, but I just want it has to have the music. Like have the music, and then whoever you want, because I know they said who they were going to have whoever you want in the crew. That's bad guys, good guys, whatever. But you got to have that music. That music is so iconic.
I'm okay.
Okay.
All right. So later in the year, we're getting Agatha Darkhold Diaries.
Slightly interested. I did I liked Agatha.
Mm-hmm. From the best Marvel, Disney Plus Marvel show of all time.
I don't.
WandaVision.
She was in Loki, but interesting.
I'll say this: season 2 of Loki far surpassed my expectations. And then I think the only other thing on the list that's coming to TV is Echo, and that's happening in January. So that one's just around the corner.
That's my number one. That's the one I'm looking forward to the most.
Why?
When we get all episodes at once as well. The trailer for it alone got me so hyped up, and I was so happy that it seems, again, this is just from a trailer, but it seems it is going to be close tonal wise to what they had for Daredevil Netflix and Punisher Netflix. More mature, more violent, more bloody.
And Iron Fist on Netflix.
It's Iron. Oh well, if you're talking about the greatest of all time, yeah. What I want now, you think about it, is I want is a crossover of Iron Fist. Well, not really a crossover, but you know what I mean. Iron Fist and Morbius together.
Oh,
if you're talking about just give me a plane full of money, planes full. Forget about that truck. Give me planes full.
What I really want is for Iron Fist to come out like the first or second episode of Echo and places iron hands on Echo and heal her hearing, heal her deafness.
Yes, because that is one of his powers, is healing deaf
other people
that are deaf. Yeah.
Yep. So
yeah, I'm looking forward to that for sure. Well, on those shows, which show are you looking forward to the most?
Like the kid, the nostalgic child in my heart says X-Men.
Yeah.
But probably the boys.
That's fair. That's fair. Boys would probably be number 2. X-Men would probably be number 3 for me.
I'll watch Echo. I'll drop. When the drops off. Well, we don't talk about that, but I'll talk about that off air with you. The final season of a particular show dropped earlier this week, and I watched every episode in one night, in one sitting. Yeah. It was 6 episodes. But I don't think I could do that Echo. I can't do that with like the more serious like drama shows. But I can sit there and I can binge some Lasso or some Letterkenny. I know. Letterkenny's over now, Mike. You can.
Thank God. By the way, I was before we end here. I did at your request. I went in with an open mind and I watched the first episode of Shoresy.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and I will say that if Letterkenny was funny and worth watching, they would call it Shoresy.
Okay, so you'll keep watching Shoresy?
Yeah, I'm actually on episode 4 right now.
Nice.
So it really is funny. Like they somehow they know how to do the humor in Shoresy and not in Letterkenny. But I don't know if you'll remember this part or not. I think you will. I think it's probably the first 1 or 2 episodes where they talk about they had the 3 guys named Jim.
Yeah.
And they talk about the way to distinguish them is to sing their names a different way. That legit made me laugh out loud.
Jim. No, that's great. I'm so glad that we found one that works for you, Mike.
Yeah.
I think Letterkenny did 12 seasons. This last season that again dropped on Boxing Day on the 26th, 6 episodes. I found it. There had been better Letterkenny moments. At some point, you just get like, they trying too hard. Are they? One of the things that I like, about like watching Smallville sometimes or reading the Knights of Steel, DC Knights of Steel type of thing is you get characters in parts or in situations that they're not usually in, or it's a flip of a character, type of thing. But what they did to Daryl in the last season, I don't know if I'd be able to forgive that if there were more seasons ahead. They made him a D-gen from Upcountry. That's shameful.
I can't believe that. You know what? I'm not even going to watch any of it now.
Yeah, but Shoresy is where it's at.
Yes.
And when he's always pursuing the lady reporter.
Oh yeah.
He's like, and I can't do the Shoresy voice, but like I'd be so good to give me a shot. I'd take such good care of you.
Yeah.
So it's a fun show. So thank you, Mike, for going into it with an open mind, because I know that Letterkenny's not on your top 5 TV shows.
No.
So so we got some things to look forward to in 2024.
Yes.
And you have a beard that when do you trim the thing?
Winter beards, you got to wait till springtime usually. Now, so we got to.
Aren't you in management now?
Yeah.
You can still rock the winter beard.
I do what I want.
So wait a minute. Let me ask you this question: If you were a hockey fan,
okay,
and your team was in the playoffs, would you maintain the winter beard all through? The playoff beard?
You'd have to.
So, but you're not a hockey fan.
No, but I could be for a beard.
Anything for the beard.
So we got to make it through January, and then we got to make it through February, and part of March. Yeah.
I mean, the vernal equinox isn't until March 21st, I believe. So
yeah. Now, usually I wait until springtime, and then sometimes it's a little bit after spring because I really want it to be warm. And you know as well as I do, March is usually cold still.
Correct.
And so is April, and so is some of May.
Yeah.
But I swear this is growing faster than it has in the past.
It really looks it, dude. So,
but you got to stick with it for the team.
You're gonna have like a beard out to here.
Yeah, I'll have my dad's beard. I don't know. I think my dad had a bigger beard at one point in time. But.
Would you ever? Because I know your dad played Santa. Would you ever, grow the beard early and dye it down? And
first of all, I would never dye my beard white. It's turning it on its own. I don't want to rush the process.
Well, you have a little bit of that Kurt Russell, darkness to it.
Yes. Yeah. That's, by the way, when I do trim this down in March, I have a feeling it's going to be full white beard.
Oh, I don't think so.
or very much white, because I mean, or that white but gray, really.
I like how, again, for the benefit of you who's just listening to the show and not watching, it's grayish on the sides, charcoal.
Yeah.
It's still black like the Fu Manchu, like Hulk Hogan, and then it's gray down in the middle. It's very distinguished. I'm a big fan, Mike. I'm a big fan.
Thank you. So,
this is fun, man. I'm so glad that I brought you on that show that one time all those years ago, and you never went away.
Yep, fair.
And I mean that in the nicest way possible. So, because it's great. Look, I know we talked about like. Because I made a comment to you like, oh yeah, if I'd have done this, I could have got the show where I wanted to be, 10, from 10 years ago. And you're like, that would take time and effort and consistency. I was like, I don't have the time. Yeah, but what I do like doing is jumping on here and visit with you for an hour and change every week. And, when I'm in the area, I drop off some comics or pick up some comics. And when you're in the area, vice versa. And it's a great fellowship that came out of this. So I appreciate you very much. I wish you nothing but health and prosperity in the new year, sir.
Ditto.
Well, that is it for this episode of Nerds United. And we wish the same to all of you who are listening, you nerdy nincompoops. There we go. Bringing it back.
Right. That's cool.
And so very safe, happy, and healthy new year for all of you. And for the last time in 2023, he is the co-host of the year, Mike Luther. I'm Greg Mahochko, and we remind you to be kind.
And Brayden, listen up, rewind.
This is a production of the Jittery Monkey Podcast Network. For more jittery shenanigans, go to jitterymonkey.com.